Yo, what is going on, guys? Johnny GB here, bringing you guys week number 1 of the PMC. This is the season opener for the Oregon Duckletts. We are taking on the Sydney Krookodiles and their coach Sharpino. This is kind of a rubber match, I want to say, between me and Sharpino. We believe are 1-1. He beat me in season 4, and then I believe I beat him in the season 2 semifinals. So me versus the Australians. I'm, for some reason, not very good record-wise versus any of the Australian players in the community. So this is something that I really had to put a lot of effort into team building for. Shout outs to Tom Z and Jack for helping out with the team this week. But nonetheless, let's hop right into the battle. You guys see the teams on the side. Brand new layout for the PMC this season. Decided I'm going to take my time. I'm going to build me a nice layout. TCG art on the side, something I love having instead of the 3D models. But getting right into the battle, he has no Heliolisk switch, and his only check is a potential Scarf Darmanitan. So all I can do at this point now is lead Heliolisk and click Volt Switch, except he decides that he is going to lead with his Darmanitan. I'm not staying in at all. I have a Milotic sitting in the back. I have a Mandibuzz also in the back, so I have enough solutions for Darmanitan. I'm not so worried about it, but the issue is, if he is Scarf, that is the only check he has to my Heliolisk. Otherwise, I pretty much come in, I click Volt Switch, I click Hyper Voice a bunch of times. So Milotic's going to come in. I am Flame Orb, so it is to take Darmanitan hits a lot better. The issue is I don't take Tapu Bulu hits all that well. And here I can just fire off a free Scald. No reason for me not to, or actually a free Toxic, really predicting the Slowbro. Instead, he actually goes Ditto, and he did have a missed gen on the Ditto where it was not Imposter, it was whatever Ditto's regular ability is. But I was clicking Toxic, mainly thinking, hey, you know what, Slowbro pretty much walls Milotic outside of me running Mirror Coat, so I can just fire off a free Toxic, so that one I can wear down the Slowbro. In comes the Ditto, uses Transform, and it allows me to recover. Yes, he gets to scout and see my set, but I have my burn, so he can't do anything to me at this point now. His Milotic on his side of the field can't do anything except waste his recovers and just take up toxic damage and just be weakened to a point where I don't care if it switches in ever again. I'm just going to fire off the Skull again. I don't do much to him, but he has the Toxic on him, so I can wear him down a lot faster than he can wear me down, especially since I have more recovers than him. So he's going to withdraw his Milotic, and he's going to go right out into Glacius, which is his Cryogonal. Now, Cryogonal, I was not expecting this game, especially with me having a Celesteela. I was not expecting him to bring Cryogonal at all. I go for the Scald, and I get the burn. It's okay, really, because, I mean, Cryogonal still has a really good special defense stat, so it was going to take whatever hit I had planned. And I just have to go out into my Celesteela here at this point because it's my only real switch in to a Cryogonal. Now, the Celesteela you guys saw in the team builder is a max special attack, enough speed, I believe, for the, not a Vaporeon, Slowbro, I believe, can't remember. I had 56 speed EVs for one of his Umbreon. That's what it was. So I had 56 speed EVs to outspeed an Umbreon. He's going to show off the ICM Z, go for the Sub-Zero Slammer against my Celesteela, which was a little bit confusing to me because judging by how much that Freeze Dry actually did, I didn't think he actually had enough to KO my Celesteela from the range that I'm at. And it's going to do an okay amount of damage. It's going to bring me down to about 25% health left. And I fire off a Flamethrower. Now, I fire off the Flamethrower because I really thought he was going out into his Skarmory. I didn't think he would risk staying in with a Cryogonal. It could be his Rapid Spinner to keep hazards off his side of the field. But I just have to switch out my Cryogonal, or Celesteela at this point. Go out to my Meloetta. Meloetta especially defensive as well. Just naturally specially defensive, so I can take whatever it's going to go for. He's going to fire off Hidden Power Fire. That's fine. Does nothing to my Meloetta. Now, the thing with Meloetta, and I was disappointed with this, is the Cryogonal ended up dying to the burn, so now it allowed Darmanitan to come in for free. I was hoping that I could set up a sub against the Cryogonal, take an HP fire, and be able to damage something that comes in. So now I'm just forced out to go into my Milotic. He finally reads it, goes for the U-turn, and now I'm in a little bit of trouble here because I only have Heliolisk for momentum on my team. The issue is if Heliolisk goes down, I have no real offensive threat to deal with the rest of his team. So in comes the Tapu Bulu. I have to do one of two things: scout to see what its items are, and then 2, I have to see what its speed is. Because if Mandibuzz does not outspeed Tapu Bulu, he can fire off Stone Edges. He has to have Stone Edge, otherwise he's walled by this Mandibuzz. You're going to see Wood Hammer. It's going to actually be a critical hit. Bring me down to about 50 HP. So, 1, I'm happy he's taking the recoil. 2, I find out that he's leftover, so I might have a chance of actually outspeeding the Tapu Bulu here at this point. But my main goal is I need to go for the Roost, and I find out I am faster. So 1, I know that Bulu is no longer a threat with Stone Edge because I can Roost off any damage that he wants to try to go for. And we're going to be on our merry way now. The issue is I don't have much to hit this Bulu. I have Knockoff, U-turn, Roost, and Taunt. I had Taunt there for Umbreon in case it wanted Wish Pass shenanigans. I mean, on paper it was a good bring, but not much to hit the Bulu. So here I'm just going to fire off a U-turn. Now 1, I could have stayed it, or fire off a Knockoff. It was mostly to get rid of the leftovers on Bulu, but it works on getting the leftovers off Skarmory. And here I can just click U-turn now. I could have clicked Taunt to 1, prevent any type of hazards from going up. That would have been a good play on my part now that I'm theorizing it, but U-turn allows me to get in my Celesteela, and he's allowed to get his Stealth Rocks up. Now I don't have hazard removal, so I have to be careful on how many hazards he actually gets up on his side of the field. The good thing is my Celesteela is going to get some HP recovery here from the Skarmory, pretty much not being able to do anything to my Celesteela. He's actually going to withdraw his Celesteela, and he's going to go out to his Slowbro. I do have Energy Ball for the Slowbro, and I should have actually gone for that this turn. Instead of wasting a turn here with the Autotomize, I could have just fired off an Energy Ball, severely cripple the Slowbro, and then pretty much play a prediction game on, do I just click Flash Cannon or Flamethrower? Flamethrower probably being the better option. As you can see here, Energy Ball does 2-hit KO the Slowbro. The issue was I didn't play around that very well. He's going to go for Surf, so he's opting for Surf over Scald this time, and it's not going to pick up a KO. And now my Celesteela still is able to pick up a KO on something. I can click a free Flamethrower here because there's no way he's going to risk his Slowbro. His Slowbro is the one thing that's keeping my Meloetta Pirouette form from running through the rest of his team. He doesn't know I'm Pirouette form, but it's the only thing that keeps me from running through his team. If I can set up a sub. So he's going to go to Ditto here. I'm just going to fire off an Energy Ball, and that will be the end of Ditto. Celesteela picking up the first kill for the Duckletts here in this early part of the PMC season. Hopefully it can actually pick up a lot more than 1 this season. In comes the Darmanitan, and yeah, Celesteela's kill streak now kind of just ends at this point. I have to sack it off. I don't want to switch my Milotic into Rocks and then a Flare Blitz, and it was mostly in case he did go for a U-turn, so what can I do there? So now I know he's locked into Flare Blitz. 1, I can click a free Recover and gain all my HP back. The issue is I still have these Rocks on my side of the field, so with the Rocks on my side of the field now, switching Mandibuzz in is a little bit of a challenge because I do have to be careful on how much damage Mandibuzz ends up taking. I know I'm going to need my Milotic healthy, so here I go for Recover. Simply because, again, Skarmory can't do much to me. All it can do is Brave Bird or Steel Wing, or actually Iron Head. So I can live with him gaining HP back off of the Roost. I'm not too concerned about it. I have Heliolisk, and all I have to do is just bring in Heliolisk against a Skarmory, and at that point, Heliolisk picks up a kill. Tapu Bulu comes in, I just get out to my Roserade. Roserade damages something. He stays in with Skarmory. Skarmory dies. He goes to Slowbro. Slowbro dies. Goes to Darmanitan. Darmanitan is severely weakened now, probably close to death at that point, to where Flare Blitz Recoil will KO it. So fire off the Volt Switch here, and it will kill off the Skarmory. So Jspecks, Heliolisk, fantastic bring, especially when his ground type, as I said in the team builder, was the Quagsire. All he had was Quagsire for Heliolisk, so Specs Heliolisk, very good bring. Allows me to get into my Mandibuzz. So I had to do some calcs here to see how much a Flare Blitz from Darmanitan did, and I did see that it did not actually KO me from the range, so I could fire off a free Roost, and it showed that he was probably a Jolly Darmanitan based on the damage he had. So now he's taking Recoil, he's taking Rocky Helmet, he is being weakened down perfectly to where I need him to be, and I know that Mandibuzz can actually Roost stall him and pretty much just cripple his Darmanitan. And once Darmanitan goes in, I can just go out into my Heliolisk, click Hyper Voice. That's all I need to do. He's going to go out to Hey Bro, the Slowbro, as I fire off a knockoff. Now the knockoff was to try to get rid of the Choice Scarf from the Darmanitan. I figured if I got rid of the Choice Scarf, the range Darmanitan's at now, Heliolisk still comes in and picks up a kill anytime it comes in. So I'm able just to fire off a U-turn. I should have taunted, as you're going to see here. He's going to go for the Toxic, and it's going to land on my Meloetta. Now, I wasn't sure what range Relic Song actually picked up a KO, but again, the taunt would have been good and useful had I clicked it. Now, my Meloetta is not poisoned. You're going to see why. Meloetta getting poisoned wasn't a very good idea. I could have actually gone to Roserade, but it was a risky play on my part had I gone Roserade. But it would have been the ideal pressure situation had I switched into Roserade, absorbed the Toxic, and now, one, I can either set up a Toxic Spike, I can put Giga Drain, get rid of the Slowbro, and then switch into Meloetta just to sack it off, weaken the Darmanitan. A lot of different plays I could have gone with there. Again, I can't be faulted for really going for U-turn, just trying to get out into something. Now, Meloetta here, unfortunately, is just death fodder at this point. There's not much it can do left in the game. Darmanitan's still there, Bulu's still there, so I'm just using it as a sack here. I just go for the Relic Song, which does put the Slowbro to sleep, which works for me because now I have a couple turns of setup, and I should have actually just hard swapped right out into a Roserade here instead of really sacking off my Meloetta for differential, or to keep my Meloetta as a late game sack later in the game, because Pirouette form can't do a thing to Slowbro. All I can do is just click Relic Song and die to Toxic, and it wasn't going through my head, hey, let's swap it out to Roserade, pressure him, force him out, because Roserade still does a lot of damage to the rest of his team. Yes, Bulu dies to Sludge Bomb. Darmanitan doesn't want to switch into a Sludge Bomb. Slowbro dies to a Giga Drain, so it wasn't something I was really thinking about differential-wise, that, hey, all I have to do is just hard swap to Roserade, keep the Meloetta alive. Instead, I'm just letting my Meloetta get severely crippled by the Toxic damage. Now here, I thought, hey, you know what? I might be able to pick up a KO with the Relic Song, and I'm in a very good spot because I'm probably still behind a sub. Instead, he lives on 1 to 2 HP and then wakes up, so I'm like, oh my gosh. Once he wakes up, he's able to get the slack off and gain all the HP back. So just an unfortunate turn of events here for me that I missed the KO by 1 HP. It would have been a double KO. I believe he would have had to set his Pokemon out first. With him sending it out first, I know exactly what I can switch out into. But it's just the way that goes there is just played the Meloetta wrong. It was the first time I've ever used Pirouette form, so I just played it really wrong. I knew I had to get rid of Slowbro before I could set it up. What can I do about that? But in comes Roserade. Now I fire off the Sludge Bomb, and this is something I should have done instead. I should have set up the Toxic Spike first. Because if I set up the Toxic Spike first, Slowbro's not weakened anymore. And I can still KO him with Giga Drain this next turn. And again, this was just another way that I could have saved differential. Pretty much. It was just the one ways that I could save differential. Instead, I sack off Roserade because I go for Sludge Bomb first, and then I go for Toxic Spike. Now, the Toxic Spike's important because that's more residual damage on the Darmanitan. Heliolisk comes in, and again, anytime Heliolisk comes in, I get a free kill. So I just click Volt Switch here, Slowbro's gone. Granted, it did pick up 2 kills, really, that I should have prevented. I could have got Toxic Spike. Giga Drain was pretty much a KO from about 80 HP on 80% on Slowbro, so just a bad play on my part. So in comes Darmanitan, DK, and a couple options here. If he U-turns, I'm okay. I can Roost, because all I did was click Roost. If he Flare Blitzes, now I go out into my Milotic, and that is the game at that point. So he's going to take the Rocky Helmet, he's going to take Recoil, and now he is going to take Poison damage. So we are in a fantastic spot at this point. Just everything's getting weakened. I go out to my Milotic, and this was almost a choke on my part. I go for Recover here on his Flare Blitz, when all I needed to do was click Ice Beam. I click Ice Beam, it doesn't matter. Bulu comes in, it gets weakened. Darmanitan stays in, it dies. But instead, I click Recover, and had he swapped on that Recover, he goes to Bulu, and that's pretty much the game for me. I can't live a Bulu hit. And then he still has the Choice Scarf Darmanitan to take out my Heliolisk. Probably ends 0-0, in which he picked up the last kill, which would lead to his win. But instead, thankfully, he goes for the Flare Blitz. And now Bulu comes in. It's going to take the Toxic Spike damage. I find out that, hey, my Milotic's the same speed as my Mandibuzz, so I outspeed the Tapu Bulu as well. And that allows me to fire off an Ice Beam here to severely damage the Tapu Bulu. He's also going to go for Wood Hammer, so it's weakening him even more. And then the poison damage at the end of the turn. So the late game Toxic Spike's really helping out to put stuff just into severely weakened range. And then Heliolisk now comes in. It clicks Hyper Voice. And we will pick up a 1-0 win to start off the PMC season. A very hard-fought 1-0 win in which late in the game it could have literally gone either way depending on that turn 32, whether he swapped out or I clicked Ice Beam. But with all that, Heliolisk comes in, Hyper Voice, and we are Week 1 winners, something that I can never do. I am horrid in season opening games. Pretty much anything till about Week 5. I am not very good, so it's very good to get off to a good start here in the PMC. Good game to Sharpino. Just a very annoying Skarmory dealing with Choice Scarf Darmanitan. My team's not overly fast, but if you guys enjoyed the video, go ahead, like it, comment your guys' support. If you guys haven't already, join the personal Discord server where I'm doing giveaways in there, question of the days. You guys can be team building help, Duel Links help, Pokemon TCGO help as well. Also check out all the other PMC coaches. Their links are down in the description below. But with all that being said, guys, I am Johnny GB, and I'm out.